How y'all doing? Tonight we're going to do another chili recipe of mine. This is kind of a quick chili. It's good for, you know, when you don't feel like sitting there and making like an 8-hour chili or slow cooked chili like I did before. This is a good little recipe you can do on a weeknight, and it's really good for this cold weather we've been having. So first we're going to brown some ground meat. See if I can get in where y'all can see here. I've got my cast iron pot here with a little bit of oil in it. Got about a little medium high heat. Got about 2 pounds of coarse ground beef. You can get this at your butcher, or they call it chili grind. Go ahead and put that in there. Now I'm going to get this moved around. I'm going to get it browned. It'll just take me a few minutes to brown this off, and then I'll come right back to y'all. Okay, got that meat browned down just about to where I want it. What I'm going to do, I'm just take it over the sink and pour it in the colander and drain it. But while I was browning, I had to drain it a time or so because it kept putting off so much water. You don't want it to sit there and boil. So I'm going to go ahead and drain it for the final time and set this ground meat aside. Alright, now we got that meat drained. Go ahead and got a pot heating back up again. In the meantime, go ahead and start adding some vegetables. Got this about a half onion. I got diced, finely chopped up. I add that to the pot. Go ahead and get it mixed in. Just going to, get a little bit of color on these onions. Let's see, maybe they'll get down there and get some of those nice little brown bits off that pan. Have to deglaze this pan and get some of that flavor. In fact, sometimes it's better if you do this with a wooden spatula, because it's getting scraping down there. There you go. You got these onions sauteed in there. We'll go ahead and add some peppers. Now this is a serrano pepper I chopped up, and a red chili pepper. I think it can't even remember what kind of chili pepper. It was just a red chili pepper they had there. You can tell it's kind of cooking here. Now that I'm starting to get a little bit of color on those onions, I'm going to add a little bit of stock. Try to deglaze that pan a little bit. This is just beef stock, okay? Let that just go. And now I'm going to grab that meat that I had over there. Make sure it's drained. Check on it. Alright, it's looking good. So I'm going to start adding some of my wet ingredients. I got these are petite diced tomatoes. This is a 14-ounce can with petite diced tomatoes. Go ahead and add that in there. Like I said, we're still on like a medium-high heat. I might just turn it up a little bit more. I want to go ahead and put got some tomato sauce. It's just a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. With that to it. Stir it on in. I've got some bushes. This is pinto beans. Now I like these because they're a light color, not those dark red pinto beans. Right now, it's 1 can. I drained the juice, most of the juice off of here. You can add more pinto beans or none. I don't particularly like them, but my wife really likes them, so we're gonna have some in there. Just stir it around. Then we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna grab a meat. Alright, Got this meat, just 2 pounds of the ground meat been drained. Then add it. Stir it around. You can just see, you know, how much liquid we got in there, just kind of gauge everything. See, it's soaked up a lot of that liquid and went in there. So, what I'm going to do, before I start adding some seasoning, I'm going to add some more of this beef broth. Let's just taste. I had 2 cups, so a little more. So, all in all, I put about a cup of this beef broth in there. Okay. Then I'm going to start adding some of this seasoning. So it's got a package of this. This is just store-bought chili mix. Imagine it's got chili powder. Probably got some sort of thickening agent in there. Probably corn flour, something like that. Just stir that in there. See how that's thickening on up. Okay. It'll be plenty thick because we're going to let it cook for a little bit. It's going to cook down. It'll thicken up. Okay. But also, I got some seasonings here. This is my own homemade chili powder. I've showed another video how to make that. This is some cumin. This is about a teaspoon of that. And this is some ground jalapeno dried. A teaspoon of that. Add that. Like I say, you can adjust the heat level in this how you want to. I like a spicy chili, so that's why I put that all those chopped chilies in there. And again, that chili powder of mine is fairly spicy. Also, when I add a little bit of ketchup, this just does something for the taste for me with chili. That's probably, I would say, 2 to 3 tablespoons of ketchup. A little bit in there. Add that. Now, this is about the thickness I like to serve my chili. But like I said, it's going to cook for a while. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit more of this broth here. Okay. About half a cup more. And stir this in. I'm going to let this simmer. Okay. It's going to just start bubbling here. And I'm going to turn it on down to right under medium. I'm going to let that simmer. I'm going to let it go for about 25 minutes. Alright, so only been on there a couple of minutes. I brought it up to where it was really bubbling hard, but now I've turned it down to low. It's just a simmer. That's how I want it. It's still a little bit thick, which is good for a serving, but I'm going to simmer it for a while, so I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup more of this stock. And I taste it, and I'm thinking it needs a little bit of heat, so I'm going to add some of this chili sauce, the sriracha that I like, just a little bit there. I'm going to stir that in. And I'm just going to cover it. And I'm not going to come back here really and check it and stir it for about 25 minutes. And cover it and just let it stew. And that should do it. Okay, so we've been simmering here for about 25 minutes. You can see everything's kind of gotten down there to the bottom. Right, it's been cooking. It's been getting those onions and those peppers all nice and tender. Get the meat how it needs to be. So what we're going to do now, if you notice it's a lot thinner now, we're going to take that top off and let it simmer about another 20 minutes or so with the top off, and this will evaporate a lot of that water and stuff out of there and start to thicken back up. But the reason we had to cover it with the initial 25-minute cooking is so we can get all the vegetables tender, get the meat cooked all the way through. It's really just the cooking process. Cook the vegetables and the peppers, cook them all down. So we're going to let this sit here, simmer for another probably 20-25 minutes with the lid off, still keep it on low, and go ahead and start some rice. Now at this point, while you're simmering for these last 20 or 25 minutes, it is okay to stir it, because you want to let as much of that steam out as you can to evaporate all that water in there. And the reason so much water's in there now, and you got there, because you got to think about all those vegetables, those onions, those tomatoes, those peppers that were cooking down in there started to release all the water once they started to cook down. So now that they've released that water, it's back in our chili. We've just got to cook it here 20 or 25 minutes, like I said, to let some of that water evaporate out of here. Alright, so it's sitting here. It's thickened up for another 20 minutes and it's just a perfect chili now. Really, really good. I got me a little bowl of rice. That's what I'm going to serve it over. You don't have to eat it over rice though. Some people are purists and they just like to eat it like it is. But I like it with a little rice. Take me a little bit of cheese. Put it right there on top of it. Man, I tell you what. It is some fine chili. Especially for just spending a couple hours on a chili when you use some seasoning out of a bag. It is really, really good.